Okay guys, so this video is going to be a little bit different because the really valuable thing I'm bringing you today isn't so much this video itself, but the tool I've created that this video is about. Coils and weaves are a big topic in Forbidden West, especially if you, like me, have completed the game and are looking to optimize your gear. There's at least 40 different weapon coils and 70 different outfit weaves to pick from, which is way more than we had in Zero Dawn. The way we get coils and weaves is also much different in Forbidden West. In Zero Dawn, many of us use the Thunderjaw farming technique to get a guaranteed 3 purple coils from every kill. Well, in Forbidden West, the Thunderjaws aren't so generous. Actually, none of the machines are. So we need to rethink how we get good coils and weaves, and we're going to do this in 2 parts. First, I'll explain the easiest way to get coils and weaves and show you the tool I've made that helps with this. After that, I'll show you the best ways I've found to farm coils from machines. And just a quick note, I know a lot of you are looking for the best ways to coil each weapon. This video is going to be focused on how to get the coils, but I'll be doing a follow-up video on how to coil each type of weapon. So if you're interested in that, definitely make sure you're subscribed and leave a like on this video so I know you're looking forward to that one. Okay, let's get started. So the primary way we get coils in Forbidden West isn't from machines anymore. It's actually from merchants. On one hand, this is simpler than Zero Dawn. You don't need to kill a dozen Thunderjaws hoping to get the coil you want. Well, not for most coils anyway. We'll get to that in a minute. Generally though, you just need to know which merchant sells the coil you want. But that's the thing. All the merchants sell a different set of coils, and let's face it, nobody wants to fast travel around to a bunch of merchants every time you want to buy a specific coil. So I've done all that work for you. Yes, I've cataloged every coil at every merchant in the game and put that information together in a spreadsheet that I'm making available to the Horizon community for free. So let's take a look and I'll show you how to use it. Every coil is grouped and color-coded by its rarity, and they're all organized in columns for each settlement. Scrolling left and right will show you more settlements, and scrolling up and down will show you more coils if they aren't showing up on your screen. So of course, you can simply browse through and see what's available. For example, you could check out what coils are available in Thornmarsh. But you should also know that this table is searchable. So if you're on Windows, you just need to hit Control and then F to bring up the search field. Then you can type in the name or even just part of the name of a coil that you're looking for. If you're on a Mac, then you'd hit Command and F. And if you're on a mobile device, it's going to depend on the browser app you're using whether or not it has a search on page function. So let's take an example. Say I want to find which merchants sell purple critical hit chance coils. First, I'll hit Control F to bring up the search field. Then I can simply type in crit, and immediately you'll see that we have 5 results for coils that have crit somewhere in their name. Those results are being highlighted for us in the table, and using these little arrows, I can cycle through them to easily see where they are. So in a matter of seconds, I've determined that the only merchant that sells purple critical hit chance coils is in Arrowhand, and I can see that they'll cost 750 shards each. Now, you'll notice we have 3 more tabs down here at the bottom. On the second tab, I've done the same thing for all the merchants selling outfit weaves. So say we want to find some shock defense weaves. I'll just search shock, and we can see the best versions of those are for sale in Sky's Sentry and Shearside Climb. Now, the third tab is a little different. These are all the outfit weaves that come from outfits themselves. Remember, every outfit comes with a weave locked on one of its mod slots when you buy it, and it will unlock after you upgrade the outfit a bit. You can remove those weaves from the outfit they came with and use them on another one, so it's useful to know which weaves come with which outfits in case you want to buy one just to get the weave. This last tab is also a bit different. This one lists all the coils and weaves you can't find at merchants. Yes, there are some that are only obtainable from looting chests and killing machines, so I've been compiling all the ones I've found like that here. Now this tab in particular is still a work in progress. It's tough to figure out all the coils you can possibly get from machines or chests since they drop so rarely. With that said, if you've noticed I'd left something off or made a mistake somewhere, definitely leave a comment down below and I'll update the tables as often as I can. Taking that idea even further, if any of you want to help develop these tables, I'd love to have some more input on this. For example, I still haven't gotten around to filling in the quantities of each coil available to buy, so if somebody wanted to tackle that, that would be awesome. If you are interested in helping, use the link in the description to join the Arktix Discord server and message me about it over there. For those of you who just find this useful and want to show your appreciation for having access to this free resource, I only ask that you please consider leaving a like on this video and also sharing it, either directly with individual people or, even better, on forums or Discord servers where you think people would find it useful. As you guys know, self-promoting is usually frowned upon, and I don't want to break any community rules, but I think a lot of Horizon players would find this useful, so I'd like to get this video out there as much as possible. Okay, so that's the spreadsheet tool for coils and weaves, but like we just talked about on that last tab, there are some coils and weaves that you can only get from hunting machines or looting chests. Let's quickly talk about looting chests first, since that's easier, and then I'll show you the machine hunting farms I've been using. So first off, a lot of chests are sprinkled along the path of quests, so you definitely want to use your focus ping and keep an eye out for them as you're playing through the main story and side quests. Assuming you've done that, then the next place to start looking is inside special areas like rebel camps, relic ruins, Firegleam caves, and metal flower locations. The Firegleam caves and metal flowers in particular are low-hanging fruit, since you don't don't really have to do anything besides open them up. Well, except for some metal flower locations that have a machine hiding inside. Alright, so if you've looted everything you can, now let's talk about how to farm coils and weaves from machines. The first thing to know with farming is that Apex machines seem to have a higher drop rate than their normal variants, so you'll want to focus on Apex variants. To increase the likelihood of Apex machines spawning, you should use a shelter to change the time of day to nighttime. Make sure you do this at a shelter far away from the machine site that you want to farm because it will force the machines to respawn. If you don't already play on very hard, another trick is to crank up the difficulty to very hard, and again, do this far away from the machine site so they're forced to respawn. After you fast travel to the site and have an Apex locked in, you can just turn your difficulty back down to where you like it. Okay, so now the question is, which Apex machines do we hunt? Well, basically, the bigger the better. In my experience, lightweight machines have a very small or 0% chance to drop a purple coil. Midweights do have a chance, but it's still pretty low, so you'll really want to focus on the biggest baddies in the game, or at least midweight machines that spawn in groups. But there's no need to make things super difficult on ourselves. I haven't noticed any difference in coil drop rates between big machines, so let's pick some machines that we can handle relatively easily. My criteria for this is that they need to be weak to frost, shock, or both of those. My personal favorite are Apex Tremor Tusks for a couple of reasons. First, they're weak to shock, which makes them an easy target for the shock shredders on the Ancestors Return Shredder Gauntlet. You can basically keep them stunned the entire time with this, and the shredder explosions will knock off components like the tusks very easily. Second, each of the 4 tusks is worth 89 shards, and the Apex Heart, which you're guaranteed to get, is worth 263 shards. So that's a total of 619 shards, plus you can loot other valuable resources from the 4 ammo drums and even the salvo cannons and processing capsules if you knock them off. So even though you aren't guaranteed a purple coil or weave with every kill, at least you'll still be getting some good shards. My favorite Tremor Tusk site is the one on a frozen lake in the middle of the Sky Clan territory. Here, once you're done with the Tremor Tusk, you can run a short distance away to fight a few Apex Claw Striders, which are also weak to shock. Claw Striders are a midweight machine, but you always get 2 or 3 of them spawning here, so your chance for a purple coil is increased a bit. Once I'm done with the Claw Striders, I head down a little further to a Scorcher site. Now I know many of you hate Scorchers, and the Apex variant is actually strong against shock and freeze, so they're not easy targets like the Tremor Tusk and Claw Striders. I usually use my Lightning Hunter bow to drench them in purge water first, and then freeze and destroy them with my Blast Forge. The nice thing about going down to the Scorcher site is that it's far enough away from the Tremor Tusk site that the Tremor Tusk will respawn, so you never even have to fast travel. You can just keep cycling through these sites to farm the machines as long as you want. Plus, if you want to go to a shelter to craft ammo at a workbench or change the time back to nighttime, there's a shelter really close to the north, so load times are really minimal. Also, pro tip, if the Tremor Tusk tusks end up under the ice, just crouch and you'll usually be able to pick them up. If you want to focus on just Tremor Tusks, then the dual Tremor Tusk site in the north is pretty nice. To avoid load times here, simply call your Sunwing once you've killed them and fly out and back a little ways to force them to respawn. Other good Apex machines to hunt include Tide Rippers, Fireclaws, and Behemoths, each of which are weak to shock, frost, or both. Remember that farming machines for coils isn't nearly as efficient as purchasing them or looting them from chests, so I'd recommend focusing on those 2 things first. Alright guys, that's my advice on getting all the best coils in Forbidden West. I hope you guys find the spreadsheet tool useful, and if you do, please remember that it really helps me out to leave a like and share this video. Hopefully you guys can use this resource to help with your current playthrough or optimize your gameplay once we get New Game Plus. If you're in the endgame like me, I hope my Tremor Tusk hunting strategy helps you score some good coils. If you find any that I haven't found yet, definitely let me know down in the comments or over on Discord. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.